people here you should ask too.
Okay, this meeting's been recorded, so I have to stop being silly. Hello, Versa Manos. Very lovely to meet you.
And your presence.
I want to know stuff about you.
Okay, no, throw me questions.
Reading your website,
yes,
there are some things that you've put up there that I think if you could explain what they mean would be very beneficial for the actors here to know. Such as, when you say you take a fair-minded approach and commitment to your clients, what do you mean by that?
Not really. I'm a complete cow, actually. I'm demanding. I make sure that, a fair-minded approach means that, I think not everybody is perfect. And if you start with that premise and want to build from that moment on, you're going to have a great relationship. But if you come with an attitude that this is what I want, I have that too. I want this. There's certain things that I want. But you've got to be open-minded. Not everybody is every single person that I've managed, whether they're with me or not, they've all had their specific requirements. Some people don't understand what a manager does, and no matter what you tell them, they can't get it through their heads that you're mission control and you control everything. And you're not a control freak, but you just need to have the information so you can make really good decisions about what the next step is. And I think, the difference between, say, a manager and an agent, the agent is about today. The agent is about, I can book you that job because I can make this much money, and that's why I have so many clients, because I can make a lot of money with a lot of clients, or not, But with a manager, you're going to make a lot of money on a few clients because you've invested your time and energy into those people, and you've guided them in a way that you're making good decisions for them, that, you're not, I had somebody the other day say to me that they negotiated their own contract, this before they came to me, they negotiated their own contract and signed something that had something in perpetuity. And what it was motion capture for a particular casting office, right? They didn't really disclose who the job was for. And then 2 years later, she's now the motion capture person in this major game that's making millions of dollars. And she got paid, $75 for the afternoon. And I'm like, that's where you got to be fair-minded, because your instant reaction is, you fucking idiot. Why didn't you have someone look at your contract, no matter how small it is? How many times does someone have to tell you, no matter who you are, no matter what industry you work in, read the fine print, read it, give it to other people to look at, get their opinion. But I would pay the $200-300 to actually go to a lawyer and say, look, I'm a starving actor, And there are lawyers who work with starving actors and reduce their fee for you because they know in the long run you're serious about your craft. But, this game has made in excess of $100 million, okay? It's a legal fight, but she's going to have to put up a ton of money to fight it. And she's going to need to find a lawyer who's going to want to take it on a contingency if they win, And, this is LA. LA, they're not always going to do that because there's going to be another person who's going to bring them, more money, perhaps,
You work in the UK as well, don't you?
Yeah.
So,
yes,
how is the difference between, you say this is LA, and I remember there was a play years ago that I was in at drama school. It was about called the Shark Pit or something, the Shark Tank, or so it was swimming with sharks. And I think that
they walk every day down the streets that I'm in,
Yeah. Walking sharks. How does your experience change when you fly across the Atlantic? How
what's interesting to me, what's fascinating to me, and for those people in the UK, you should thank your lucky stars you're training in the UK, because one of the most appealing things about America is that Casting directors love UK actors because A, they know they're well trained, they know that they're serious about their craft, they know that they're going to deliver the best job they're going to deliver. Americans don't have that same approach. I mean, to give you an example, Alexis Winter, whatever her name is, Lane, she told me she had 3,400 tapes that went out for auditions. She got 1,300 back. Okay? I mean, it's mind-bogglingly ridiculous that you're given an opportunity that you don't follow through on. I find that I want to strangle someone, you know? Like, I would never let my clients not deliver an audition. That drives me insane. So I get crazy. You know, if your audition is due tomorrow morning, I'm going to call you, I'm going to text you, I'm going to email you, and then I'll do it again. Where's your tape? Where's your tape? We got to get it in. I don't want to get in at the last minute.
And that's the job, isn't it? So
that's the job. That's the job, you know, and no matter who, whether it's the agent or myself that's got the job, we still push the client, get it in on time, get in. And not only just getting in on time, it's actually getting it in before time. Like on Tuesday, we had one of our clients delivered a 500 megabyte audition, and it's 10:02, the deadline, 10 minutes. And, you know, those big tapes sometimes take a while to download, then you got to upload, then they got to calibrate. And you're sitting there going, oh my God. And it was a huge audition. And the casting director said specifically, no late deliveries, please, you know, or everything had to be on the breakdown. So, and you're sitting there going nuts, like, you moron, like, why didn't you deliver it to me yesterday when I asked and you had it and we went over it and we had feedback, and then you wait 24 hours to deliver? Like, what's wrong with you, you know? Like, so, you know, so the difference between LA is not everybody here wants to be an actor. They want to pretend to be an actor, and you've got to listen between the lines and keep your ear to the ground and get a feel of who that person is. When I talk to British actors, I really get a feeling that this is what they want to do, period.
That's really weird, Ursa, because, you know...
And it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. That's why everyone's very jealous of these actors coming over from the UK, you know, getting these prize slots that the Americans should get. I mean, I'll give you another example. A casting director told me that before Christmas, the job was paying $22 million, okay? No freaking joke. It was paying $22 million. The director wanted to meet, there were two potentials, okay? And the director wanted to meet the two, one in the morning, like 11, 12, the other in the afternoon. The first one didn't show. Okay? Yeah, look at you all like, but this is a regular occurrence. Now, if that was a British actor, they would have, you know, and not only did they not show, they didn't phone, text, email, tell their agents, tell their managers, nobody. They just didn't show. And that, I mean, it's like, it's not the money, it's the entitlement that they think that they can just do what they like. I'm sorry, people are waiting for you, you know, to do your job. Your job is to turn up as an actor.
And it feels like that's like part of the battle that it's important for all the actors here to know, is that if, you know, showing up, you know, already puts you, you know, because there's the competition is, you know, people talk a lot, especially later into the game. And they're saying, well, I'm already behind the curve. Well, not really. If you show up, you've just caught up.
You show up, you have a chance. If you don't show up, nothing happens, you know? And the thing about, the thing is because people here, like, and this is the difference. In the UK, you have a certain amount of people, I don't know, 200, 300, whatever people auditioning for the part, right? Is that right, Danny? Yeah, I think so. Right?
Yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I had a brief out 2 days ago, and it went to 5,500 actors, and then and we got that back. We got that back, like the vast majority.
Yeah, you got them back. You see, that's the difference.
Yeah.
See, you're getting thousands of people submitting for this role, whether it's an agent, manager, whoever, or themselves, submitting for a role. You got thousands, 7,000 people, you know, submitting. But you know how many show up? Less than a third of people show up. And it's like, stop submitting, stop wasting people's time, get the fuck out of the way, you know? There's plenty of people that want to get in front of you, so get out of the way, you know. That's when I'm not fair-minded, Danny Dresner. That's when I'm not fair-minded.
Right.
Because you're deprived. My job is to make sure that you're making the right decisions as an actor for your career. How can I do that if you're not turning up for those major auditions and callbacks and, you know, and chem reads and so on? No one gets paid, not the agent, not the manager, no one, the publicist, the lawyer, no one gets paid. And so the thing to remember is, how do I then, as a rep, stay focused on you and stay enthusiastic on you? Because it's very easy for me to just completely ignore you. And it's not because I want to, it's just subconsciously you're going, he really fucked me over. So you're subconsciously, your mind is just, you just forget about him. Because you don't want to have that. You don't want to have casting call you and go, we had someone turn up, they're supposed to turn up at 10 o'clock this morning, and it's 10:30, and they're not here, you know? And you're like, let me find out. And you see, the actor's job is to call me to say, hey, I'm running late for my audition. Please tell casting I'll be there. And, you know, and then don't lie to me. Like we had a major audition guest star role for Hawaii Five-0. And the audition was at 11. He turned up, he called me at 12:30, said, there's no one here. Okay, that was an hour and a half late. He told me he was going to get there by 11:45. I called casting, and casting said, we'll wait. It's a 5-minute audition, we'll wait. They waited till 12:10 and went to lunch. And he called me and said, oh, I had a problem getting in the room. No, you didn't. You were late, really freaking late. And casting said, you don't care enough, neither do we. So goodbye, you know, audition cancelled.
Well, you know, it makes me think about attitude and the question really about whether you would prefer an actor with lots of confidence and limited talent, or one with loads of talent and limited confidence.
Quiet simmering, I'd put it.
So say that again, sorry.
Quiet simmering,
Quiet simmering, yeah.
Or shimmering would probably be better. No, I think talent is everything. You can win out on talent. But in order to win out, you've got to have the tools. You've got to have the right headshots. Like, I can't tell you how many times we've said to the actor, your headshots do not work. They just don't work. So can we please organize more? And the really good ones, the ones that are really good, they will call you, ask you for a list of photographers. And then what we do is we'll put a mood board together. We talk about the kind of styles and looks and whatever. We go over the clothes. We want them to photograph their clothes that they're wearing to the shoot, blah, 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 blah. The ones that don't want to do the work would take 6 months. And at the end of the 6 months, I'm going, obviously you don't care enough. Why should I? You know, kind of vibe. And so you release them, because I don't want to work with people like that. You want people who, see, when they're on it, you're going to say, you need to do this workshop. They're on it, done, booked. You don't have to follow up with them. You're going to say, do this class. This class is really important. This class is run by a director. Nobody knows about it. It's a quiet group. He's phenomenal because he's going to show you not only is he going to teach you how to act, he's going to show you what angles. You know, this is where I would be as a director. I'd look up at you, I'd look down at you, I'd look on this angle, I'd look between the spaces. You know, he walks through every scene. And as an actor, that's a really phenomenal piece of information that you need to add on to yourself as an actor. How do you see yourself, you know? And when you have someone reflecting the directions that you need, I mean, actors take direction. That's what actors do. So take direction. If somebody says to you, I need new headshots, we need new materials. It's not so much the reel over here that's important, and it is the headshots, because that's the first kind of look. You know that expression that you don't get a second chance at a first impression. I mean, literally, we had new headshots for a client, and within a week, she'd booked 3 different shows. Whereas before that, she had like a dry spell where she was going out, but nothing was happening. And her, because if you go out and you're doing this stuff, it affects your ego, affects who you are. You're like, oh my God, I'm a complete failure. Who cares about me? Nobody wants me, But if you start booking from time to time, that's what keeps the energy levels up, and it keeps your interest in, and it keeps you interested in, everyone keeps their interest in you, all your reps do as well. Oh my God, they're booking, that's fantastic. Let's get out there and do more for them, because they're bringing the money in. It's a business, so it's about money too. And it's not just about being famous and rich and well known and whatever. It's really about, it's a craft. So do the craft, do the work, because you'll get all of that once you have that down.
But it's show and business in equal measure, or the balance changes depending on whereabouts you are and what you're doing.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting. I was going to say about the business side, because I know you have a background in PR and marketing as well. And I'm guessing that everybody on this call has at one time or another done another job apart from acting, has been in a business where there has been sales and marketing and et cetera, et cetera. And, I think a lot about, us as being products. That if we are, if we relaunch then with a new improved version, and also we have to have the right marketing materials so that you can sell our product, meaning us.
Yeah, if you're ultimately what we are, what your agents are sales reps.
Yeah.
They're selling you to casting, to producers, to production companies. They're selling you. They can't sell you on piss poor, mediocre tools. I can't go somewhere. I can't be banging on someone's door, unless you're young, like in your teens. They don't expect you to have it, but they want you to have great talent, But as you get older, it's like, you should know better. You should know better than to have these kind of, these kind of headshots where it's all dark, or we can see.
I have a question, Versa, on that, because Sarah Stuckens, who's on the call here, was asking. She had a question about.
Sarah, there you are. Hello.
What was it, Sarah? It was about the quality of a showreel. She looked at that because I'm just making notes. It was about the quality of a showreel, I think.
Yeah, if you can, if it's important for you guys that it's professionally shot, or if an actor makes a self-tape at home, that's really good acting, if that's acceptable.
There's two things I want to bring up here, which is really important. One is, for your reel, you really do not need the preamble. You don't need this is blah, 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 blah. We know that because we've already embedded it into the breakdowns or spotlight or wherever. So people know that it's you. So you don't need to do that. But what you need to do is you need to start on you. That's where it starts, on you. And a lot of mistakes that people make are they have the partner that they're doing the scene with more in focus than them. And it takes away. And I've heard this from agents time and time again for years now. They say, I got that pitch from so-and-so to book that, to kind of sign that client. And I booked the person who was in the scene with them instead because they were better, So, because that's who they saw. That's the focus, So, and I wouldn't do anything that doesn't have you talking. People loved, I got one that I just burst out laughing because the whole thing was music. I'm like, you're an actor, you're a musician, what the hell are you, So you really got to pay attention. I would prefer a 1-minute reel with 2 scenes. Or it doesn't have to be 30 seconds each. One could be 40 seconds, the other could be 10 seconds. But I would prefer to see less than more. Choose your best shots first. Choose the best one first. Because if you choose the best one first, you stand a greater chance with casting. Because they literally they'll look at you for 2 or 3 seconds. That's it. 5 seconds, top 7 seconds, you're in, So make sure that, particularly here, it may be very different in the UK, but here you definitely need to have that scene up front. And if you're going to use clips from TV shows, films that you've been in, what's happening here right now, and it probably start happening over there, like the networks here are starting to crack down and sue actors for using their clips. because actors think that they own the clips and they use them on their websites, they use them on social media, and they don't always use them in the best way to the film, or they may give away the film and they don't want that. So they're suing people. And, my suggestion would be to make sure you get permission first before you post anything anywhere on social media or on your website, because you don't own that footage, they do.
Right.
Whoever paid for that and you signed contracts for, that's who owns it. And that's a key element to using those clips. But if you're
sorry,
Daniel.
Sorry, carry on, sorry.
No, but if you're going to use your own scene, then you don't need permission, of course. You just need to make sure that you're featured in that. And see, what casting want to see is they want to see the dialogue between the two people, the connection between the two people. Are you giving everything to the other actor? How are you interacting with them? What's the emotional distance that you're putting up in that piece? It's so important that they see you connecting, and not you doing monologue even though the other person is there, or you just talking for the sake of just, I need to do this.
So in a way, to paraphrase Sarah's question,
Yes.
and to make an assumption here, in a way, it doesn't matter whether she records it in her living room with a good enough quality stuff, as long as we see her interact, having an argument with her husband, and then resolving it in the space of a minute.
Yes, sound is important. Sound is so important, and lighting. See, lighting they can bear, but if the sound quality is off, they can't hear you. So they can't hear the tones that you're putting in. They're not going to hear the emotional, weight in the words that you're saying. So it's so important for those two qualities, and make sure that when you do it, so it's a real situation. I wouldn't just do it in front of a blank wall. I would actually do it. If it's in your kitchen, do it in your kitchen. Maybe have a very, very, very quiet music bed running over it, so that, it blocks out that emptiness that you have in some of these tapes.
And when our actors are starting out, or not starting out, but at the beginning, near the beginning of their career, and they don't have that body of professional, in inverted commas, they haven't been on anything famous. There's always I get asked this question a lot about, and again, it's fear, in a way, fear of making a mistake, fear of sending something out too soon. And I always think to myself, there's only so much, people can only rip up your resume or CV into certain small bits. They can't rip it up any smaller. So you can't,
right.
I don't know. What do you think? About being the proactivity at the beginning of the career, I think, is the question I'm asking.
See, I see. This is what's important to me. When an actor gets an audition, that they immediately start working on it. Immediately. I wouldn't wait, because what I would do is I'll read it through a few times, and I'll start thinking about it. And what I tell some of my clients is, put it on your phone. And so when you're driving around, you can hear it, and eventually when you hear it enough times, you get so sick of it, somehow it transcends the other part of you, and you start embodying it. And the thing that I've been discussing lately with people is, don't let the subtext be the thing that precedes you in your audition. The subtext, I think, is so important, because when you're thinking about your audition, in the audition, that's what I'm seeing. And that's what's coming across.
Can you give me an example of that, of what you mean by that?
Okay, so I'm really late for an appointment with the doctor, right? And this is taking a long time. So I'm talking to you, and the attitude would be, and how can I do it? Hey, Danny, I need to be somewhere else, but and you're constantly not present in the moment. I can't do it, but I can't feel the situation. But to when you're present, you're kind of there. You're breathing into something. You're breathing into life into that role. So when you do that, you make it come alive somehow, because you start thinking about the who, what, when, where, why is this person. And so that's so important to understand all the kind of the different parts of that role. But if you're thinking about what you need to say, that's what I'm seeing and hearing and feeling.
It's like playing objectives or something. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, because the thing that you carry behind you is in front of you now.
Yeah. I wanted to ask you, Versa.
Yes.
It takes courage to be an actor.
Yes. Good Lord.
But because you've worked with such a wide breadth of artists over the years, what other common kind of traits are shared within those artists, within those people that you've worked with and currently work with?
I've worked with some very famous people, from David Bowie to Whitney Houston to Quincy Jones. And the one thing that is common with all of them is they're scared shitless.
Yes.
Whether before they go, no matter how confident they look in public, behind the scenes, they are falling to pieces. And they doubt themselves. That's not going to go away. But to me, I think you doubting yourself is fantastic, because what that does is that reinforces and reassures you that you're on the right path. The doubt that you have is not something that you should push away. The doubt is, what am I doing? Maybe it's that kind of voice in your head that says, what am I doing here? This is stupid. Like, I had to get up this morning early to do an interview. And I, like all of you, I paced the floor. I look confident, but I was pacing the floor and going, I don't know, why the hell did I choose to do this? This is stupid. I'm going to make a mess of it. And I paced the floor for about an hour, and then I was like, okay, I know what to do. I've got to sit down and I've got to make sure that I'm breathing. And so I had to sit down, do deep breaths and, I'm going to meditate. I couldn't even get myself to meditate. But I started breathing and calmed it all down. And then they were like, Versa, you ready? Yes.
Is that when you knew you were going to meet me tonight, Versa? Honestly,
that's right.
I'm very flattered.
And you're so sweet.
Thank you ever so much. Don't worry, honestly, don't worry about that. So in a way, what you're saying is it's what you do with the fear and the stuff. So it's not have it and that's it.
You've got to make fear a motivator, not something that's going to attack you and destroy you and pull you down. Fear is a motivator, not a distractor or whatever, And if you see, the thing that I've found that when you got to find where the fear is in your body, like where does it live, and mine is in my stomach. So I have to breathe into my stomach and then breathe out and tell myself, I smile, and you have a hook in the breath that hooks it out and pulls it out, and then you breathe out and all of that fear goes away. So when it's time to do your audition, you're present because you've gone through the motions. Sometimes, some people who have layers to get through need to go for a run, or they need to go for a walk or work out in the gym because they need to physicalize themselves. They need to be physical. And you can't be physical if you're in your head, because the head is the real issue. When you're in your head, you're this far away, you're 12 inches away from your emotions, and what you need your emotions, and you need, creativity lies in your intuition. You can't be intuitive if you're in your head, because you've got to live outside of that,
Yeah, that's really good. So when you get new clients come in on the same topic, when clients come in, potential clients come into your office or wherever, your Zoom room, very often it's about people come in and they had a certain je ne sais quoi. There was a certain quality about them. Some people, it's very obvious what it is about them. And we should imagine if when Steve McQueen first went into somebody's office, you know, it was kind of, you know, it was a no-brainer, or Marlon Brando, you know, you didn't really have to analyze it too much. But so in your experience of all the hundreds of people probably who've come to you for you to help them further their career, can you talk to us a little bit about some experiences about people who've come in that, you know, what you know, the things that you've thought about them, things that can help the people who are watching this to
Okay, the first thing that I ask is, are you willing to listen? Because there's no point having a manager that you're not going to listen to. And a lot of actors think they know it all. Well, I've done the training. Yeah, but where are you in your career? You know, you wouldn't be seeking out a manager if you didn't want to get further in your career. If you want to get further in your career, you've got to listen.
Okay, so let me ask a question on that then. So
okay.
I know in sales that the key is to get the other person to do the talking, but
Mm-hmm.
actors coming into an appointment, say with you for the first time, might think it's up to me to do all the talking. Even though I'm selling myself, it's up to me. But you know, the dilemma I would have would be, should I get Versa to do all the talking, or should I really just talk about myself a lot?
It's both. I need to know enough about you, you know, I need to know why you're in it. What's going to keep you in it? What are you prepared to do? How far are you committed? Are you willing to do 8 hours a day as an actor? Because that's what you would do in a normal job. And if you're in a normal job and you want to be promoted, you have to do 8+ hours a day to get promoted. You've got to work hard. You've got to get better results. And so you go up the ladder, and there's no different in acting. You've got to do the work. You've got to do the work every single day. And the difference with acting is you've got to do it 7 days a week. It's not 5, you know, there's no cheating, because you can't cheat. And the thing about doing it every single day is this: you become more fluid. And it may seem pointless, like, oh my God, I'm doing 2 hours of reading out loud today, or I'm doing an hour reading out loud. But the purpose of that, you know, what I'm finding a lot in the tapes is that people are not enunciating their words properly, so you don't understand and hear what they're saying. And a lot of the time you're sending tapes back because you're going, I don't understand what you're saying. You're talking like this and you don't know what to do. And I want to hear you speak. But also the good thing is that it helps you memorize. So, you know, what's happening too here is you have to turn your tapes around quickly. So, you know, we've had situations in the last month or so, since everything's opened up, where they've come to us at 11 and wanted the tapes back at 4. Mm-hmm. So there's no time to think about it. It's just sitting down and doing it. But if you don't have the momentum to put you in this spot that says, I'm going to book this because I've been doing the work and I'm good at this, you're not going to achieve the things you want to achieve. You know, you're not going to be an Olympic runner if you don't run every day and train every day and work out at the gym every day and so on. You know, mental health is number one, you know, and physical health is number 2. Nutrition is number 3. They come, you know, they're all part of who you are as a person. Life experiences, hugely important, you know, 100%. And so I forgot your question, Danny, but
it's okay. No, you've answered a different one, but that's good. It was about
you know what people are going to. That's right. What people are going to say, you know, when people come to what, you know, they need to ask questions. You know, for me, I'm going to say, what roles do you see yourself in? What shows are you watching? What films are you watching? You know, I want to understand that you're just as part of this as it is of you, you know, but I want them to ask me what I'm watching, because I watch a lot, you know, and I want them to ask me, okay, what are you watching? What do you care about? You know, like, what is it that where do you see me fitting in? What kind of roles do you see me in? I think those things are so important, because you've got to be able to trust each other.
Yeah. And I suppose it's taking ownership, isn't it, as well? You know,
taking ownership. A lot of actors rush into representation and don't really have any kind of dialogue to understand who they are. To me, communication is key. I want you to book out the minute you know that you want to book out. I want to know all about you. I want to know where you came from. I I can't support you and I can't protect you if I don't know where the bones are buried, kind of thing. I don't want to know every bit of your personal life, but there's certain things I want to know. I want to know, what casting directors have you gone to? How, if I called up, Wendy O'Brien, does she know you? If I called up, Nancy Myers, is she going to know you? No. All right, then let's find a way to make that happen.
Yeah.
What are you doing about it to make that happen? What casting workshops are you doing to connect? And you have to be careful. Don't do too many casting workshops, because then you become the casting workshop person that nobody wants to hire, So be prudent in your choices, because there's plenty of people. I mean, I know many people, they don't, I'm not repping them, thank you. But they, they're just, casting people bring them in all the time because they show producers that they've got a body of people, different people, but they never book them. So you don't want to become that person.
Yeah.
You want to become the person who's going to go in and dazzle and shimmer in that role, and they go, yes, please, I want you right now.
Yeah, I guess it's a bit like, in a way, dating or something. You go into a bar.
It is, absolutely.
And if you're too obvious and too desperate and needy, then nobody, people might want you, but very limited period of time.
And the other thing I found with people coming in, they lack energy. They lack energy. They don't show me that they're excited about who they are as an actor.
Yeah.
And for me, it's such a turnoff, because I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? What's happening? Oh my God, you're in that show. I love that show. You were in that show. I really didn't like that show, but the writing was spectacular, whatever. But if they don't come across with some level of excitement, why should I be excited?
Yeah.
How can I get excited about somebody who's not excited about themselves,
Yeah.
I mean, there's people, there's people who are shy and quiet. I get that, but that's great, because you can work with that, but you can't work with people who are disinterested and are indifferent about who they are. You can't work with that, because they're the people that think they know it all too. Yes, Mr. Steele.
Hello.
Hello.
And thank you for my O1 help, by the way.
Pleasure.
Yeah.
Congratulations, seriously, congratulations.
So much, thank you. We have about 20 minutes left, so
an apartment downstairs that's available, Danny, whenever you're ready.
Let's talk. Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
About 20 minutes left. So, does anyone have anything they wanted to ask first? Quite specific, anything at all? Just pop your hands up. Hi, Zach.
Hello. Versa, I just had a question when it came to networking. A lot of people talk about casting directors and different things, and that it's hard to get over that mental thing of you feel like you're speed dating again, you're trying to impress somebody. But I've kind of had the thought lately, because I'm noticing I'm making more friends with producers. Is that a smarter way to go, or is it both and, or?
Yes, everything. Everything. I mean, just to give you a negative thing that goes with that, one of my clients' friend is a director, booked him as a lead in his film, and they're filming right now. And the agent got their knickers in a twist because it didn't go through them. And it was such a mistake. And they made a shitty mess of the contract, and I had to come in and clean it up. But what I'm saying is, pick people who believe in you. Pick people, see, it's not just who knows you. It's, it's not you who it's who knows you. It's got to be two-way. I've met people who've got incredible amounts of famous people and important people in their phone book, but they could not pick up the phone and go, hey. They have them there because one day they think they're going to talk to them. That's great. But you've got to be able to have that two-way communication. I would, in terms of producers, yes, absolutely, you need those. And then you have conversations with your rep saying, look, I made these relationships with these producers, you can go ahead and pitch me, or I can pitch me and I can copy you in on it, so there's always communication. Everybody knows what everyone else is doing. What I really don't like, and a lot of people don't like, is when you're excluded And then something goes wrong and you have to pick up the pieces and try and make amends with things. And that's what happens a lot of the time. It's like, I then have to go in and fix the situation. And it doesn't always work out as well as you want it to. And they don't want to give you the points, and they don't want to give you the stuff that you want. And you want to keep people sweet, you know. Something I learned very, very early on when in my early 20s was my boss said to me, the thing about this job is you've got to make everybody in the company excited about what we're doing. And that blew me away. And I was like, wow. But see, you as actors, you need to make your reps excited about who you are. How do you do that? You know, you tell them that you're doing casting workshop. You tell them that, you know, there was some network party that you turned up now that it's opening up again. You know, before there were a lot of network parties and stuff like that. Join things like Women in Film, or, you know, I don't know what places they have over there, what kind of things they have over there, you know. Join, you know, American Film Institute that have events. There's lots of things you can join that have, you know, Film Independent. I mean, these are all places that I'm a member of, the Hollywood Film and Television Committee, the Television Academy. I belong to all of those, and they have events and you go to and you meet people. And, you know, you want to make sure that you take names and addresses and emails and phone numbers and stuff like that. And the thing that you should, if you're going to put them in your phone, walk away and add in, met at such and such a part. In your notes at the bottom, put where you met them and, you know, what they do. That's, you know, because you're never going to remember. 6 months later, you go, who is this person? You know, but then you can find them, you know, again.
Thank you. By the way, Zach is an exceptionally good, talented actor who lives in LA, by the way, Versa. Just thought I'd say that.
Call me Zach.
Yeah, there you go. And
I know, Lorna, you had a question as well, didn't you?
I do indeed. Hi, Versa.
Hi.
My question is about actors and their social media presence and followers. Is that an important thing? Because I know there's such a pool of amazing actors in LA and London. But I've heard a story of people don't get a part unless they have a big following.
Yeah, but what do you want to do? Do you want to do commercials, or do you want to do film and television? See, with commercials, they want influencers, they want people with lots of followers, right? If that's who you are, then you need to make sure that your followers, whatever. But I wouldn't, you know, the mistake that a lot of people make is they bring in their personal lives into it. I want that, but I don't want all of it. I mean, to give you an idea, we had a contract role for a major soap. I mean, it was a ton of money. It was like $20,000, and, you know, for the week. So it was a ton of money for that actor. And the role was for him, he had to be clean image, you know, for those kind of shows. But he had some raunchy stuff on his side, and they just completely released him. They just released him. They were like, we went on the social media, we didn't like what we see, we're releasing him. Just like that, boom. It didn't matter. And, you know, so my suggestion to you would be for your personal stuff, like if you've got family and friends and there's a few hundred people, create a different name and have them in your circle so that you can talk to them in the way you want to talk to. You swear, great. You want to wear, you know, you want to wear really skimpy clothes, great. But your professional social media should be that. I love the fact that you could be sitting at a cafe, having a coffee, reading, you know, you're sitting there, oh, I can't, you know, reading lines, you know, or memorizing lines or whatever you want, you know, and because that shows that you're in a normal situation, doing something very normal. And it shows that, you know, you're somebody, maybe you've got a life outside of the acting, you know, and that's what they want to see as well. The other thing, before I forget, you know, there's one thing I just don't want to forget it, but social media is really, really, really important. And social media is how you can connect to your casting directors, your casting directors, your producers. I don't know if you're on Clubhouse, get on Clubhouse, you're going to get phenomenal information on that. But go on, you know, like I have met a ton of people on Clubhouse. On Instagram, I've built phenomenal relationships with casting because I'm I waited like 5 or 6 months before I commented, but I like photos. I didn't like every single photo that they posted, but when I liked the photo, I actually liked it because I liked it. And then after a while, I started going, wow, that's amazing. I wouldn't do that, and congratulations or whatever. And so bit by bit, they come to know who you are. And they say that it takes 23 impressions for people to really know you. So, that would be a suggestion that I would do. And, be mindful and be tasteful, because if you want longevity, if you want, to me, influencers, by the way, they're using influencers less and less because they realize they can't act. So it's one thing to do your own YouTube, whatever, TikTok for 10 seconds, but, do they have the lasting power? Hell no. And so now they're saying they want real actors, and those influencers are for particular where they want reality shows or commercials, But I tell you, the positive thing about having a lot of followers, and this is something that I learned, was this was with you, Danny Steele. I think it was one of yours where the person was an influencer, had like 2-point-something million, and followers. And what they did was they called up the hotel and said, I've got this many followers. It was you, wasn't it, Danny? I remember.
Was it you? It wasn't me personally.
It wasn't you personally, but it was in a room that we were in together, right? Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
And they were saying that they then called the hotel and said, I'm going to feature in my Instagram pages, but can you give us the accommodation for free? And then they went to the restaurant and said, I'm going to promote you on my pages, and can you give us the food for free? And everybody, and the producer was like blown out of his mind because of the generosity of that influence. Not everyone's like that, but that's how it can work positively for everybody, and they used it in a really great way. And I thought that was just such a fantastic, phenomenal story. And it was heard here in these rooms, Danny.
Amazing. Thank you.
You, Danny,
Thank
still.
you.
But I forgot what I was going to say now. I had to tell you. Oh, the one thing that casting people are now asking you to do is this. The question is, tell us about yourself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So don't turn up without your story. And they don't want to know about your acting because they already know you're an actor and they've already seen your resume and they've already seen your tape. They want to know who you are as a person, because what they're really doing is they're assessing you to see whether you're going to fit in with the cast they already have. Or you're the type of personality that they want to have, that other people will embrace in the show.
I always say, if they're paying for you to be on set for a day or a week, they just want to know who you are. Even if you've been doing some voluntary work in a homeless shelter somewhere, it's perfect. Anything like that, it's perfect. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I have to go slightly early, but I'm going to take a picture of everyone before I go, and you guys are going to carry on for a few more minutes. So just give us all a big smile. Lovely. Thank you so much. I'll see most of you next week on Monday. Versa, bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll chat. Thanks, guys.
If you have more questions, do you want me to ask more questions?
I'm staying.
Okay, Danny Dresner.
Right.
Daniel Dresner, if you want to. Here we are.
So do we have anybody who's got, I've of course got tons. Mark Brent, another very talented actor, based over here.
Thanks,
Mark Brent. Hi, Mark Brent. You're right in the middle there. So you've got the center stage. So go for it.
Hi, Versa. It's really
it's great to hear you. You said something earlier about fear and self-doubt. And you said, you put the two things together and then you said, if you've got the self-doubt, that means you're on the right path.
Yes.
Now, to me, self-doubt is very different to fear. I mean, they're joined, but for me, they're two different things. Like I have the fear and I work through that, but the self-doubt at the moment is off the scale. And you said, if you've got the self-doubt, that means you're on the right career. Could you just tell me a little bit more about that? Why you said that?
See, the thing about self-doubt, it comes in layers, right? It's not there all the time. It comes in certain times when you have to deliver, right? That's, as soon as you get that audition, you're like, oh shit, what do they send it to me for? I don't want to do this. And you get into that whole, it's a chatter that you have inside yourself, right? And it's a chatter that's only one-sided, because it's only one-sided because it's a negative chatter. What's missing is the positive chatter, right? And the thing that is important to learn about that process is you bounce off it, because then you go, I'm shit at this. Why am I doing this? Then you say to yourself, right?
Yeah.
And then you say to yourself, I'm good at this. I've been learning a lot, and you turn it into a positive.
Right.
But doubt is important because it reinforces why you're doing this. You see? Does that make sense? You're kind of going, yes, no.
Yeah. How does the self-doubt reinforce you doing the right thing?
Because you're doubting. The doubt is something. See, when you have a wall here, and this wall is doubt, okay?
Yeah.
And this wall is confidence, okay? Yeah. When you have doubt, when you start looking at it, you bounce over here.
Right. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But because you have layers of doubt, you're going to go through a whole process. I'm shit. And I'm this, and I'm terrible. And oh my God, I really messed that up. That's like, so you go through the process. But each line is there for you to counter, to solidify the reason why you're doing it.
So you're raising a question to be answered.
Yeah.
Yes. You're making a statement about yourself that really isn't true. It's a thought. And thought can be changed, and they can be changed to turn things around. But it's important to have them because they reassure you that you're on the right path.
So would you say it's as simple as if an actor doesn't have the self-doubt, then there's something wrong?
Oh God, no, see, that's negative.
Right.
Everyone has doubt.
Yeah.
It's not whether an actor, everybody in the world, no matter who they are, has self-doubt. And so even the biggest stars in the world have self-doubt. You look at all those people who are famous, you hear them being interviewed. You go to Netflix and look at whoever, and they always talk about, oh my God, I never believed in myself, and I never thought I was going to make it. Everybody has it. That's part of being a human being. It's part of having emotions. It's part of having, a reason to be kind of thing. The raison d'etre is like, but you can't have it crucify you. You've got to have it liberate you. And the only way to liberate yourself out of that is to have a positive dialogue of reinforcement.
Right.
So that you're constantly reminding yourself why you're doing this. Right. And then when you get to the other side of it, when you get clear all that, then you sit down, you go, wow, I really love this. This is great. I love it. When you get into that space to do your audition, or you get to do that audition in front of people, you come alive. There's something in you that's like, there's a fire that burns inside you that just erupts, and you become magnetic, and positive and confident. But I think it's important, to have those doubts. I mean, I'll share something very personal, but it a few years ago, I was going through a really bad phase in my life. I was like, what am I doing? I don't know. I've done this for years. And I was really, really, what I thought was really depressed. And I called my mother up, and my mother goes, Versa, every day you're calling me, you're scaring me because you sound really sad. And I didn't want to tell her that I'm depressed. So I said, I said, Mama, I have melancholy. That was like an easy way. And she went, that's fantastic. She says to me, that's fantastic. I went, what? She goes, yeah, think about it. She goes, all the time we're talking, listening, watching, reading, doing things. She goes, that is fantastic because you're giving yourself time to think about who you are. And I woke up the next day and I felt like I'd won $20 million, I was like, wow, that's an amazing affirmation about life, And so it's not always what you think it is, and don't get caught in the trap of being pulled down. And there's a lot of people who are jealous, if you tell people that you're doing a certain thing and you're succeeding at it, they don't want to hear it, And they don't want to know that, you know. But the fact that you have time to think, that's what I'm saying about the doubt. It's a very similar thing. That give yourself permission to have the doubts. The doubts are fine. They're just thoughts. It's not reality, you know. It's not someone smashing through your window, you know. It's you thinking, and the thinking is a process, and that process can be taken wherever you want to drive that process to. Is it positive? Is it negative? I mean, whatever. What is it? You know? And
sorry, Versa, I'm just aware of time. I'm a stickler, and I don't want to abuse you because you know we asked me booked you for an hour, and I don't want to go over.
Been abused all my life, Daniel. What can I say?
I'm going to keep my mouth shut now.
I mean, you know, I have time. What is it? 10, 15? Okay. I mean, if, you know.
What I want to do is, though, I know that Elizabeth wants to ask a question, but before that, I want to, just in case it's a long question, we'll finish right. But what I want to do is go around the room, if that's all right. So everybody to just say hi to you, and I don't know, say something about yourself that Versa doesn't already know because she doesn't know you yet.
Yeah, and give us a piece of wisdom about yourself.
Piece of wisdom. I'll start. No, I don't need to. I've been talking all along. So I'm going to go through who I've got there, and I was going to start with Michelle, but she looks like she's thinking of one, so I might wait. Has anyone got a piece of wisdom? And I'll use you as the starting point.
Well, introduce yourself. Tell me, you know, a little bit about yourself. Why are you into acting? You know,
Mark Kennedy, you've usually got something to say.
Mark Kennedy, you're all quiet there in the background.
Yeah,
you know,
he's being moody there. That's it. He's schmoody.
Dark and moody. Okay, let's hear it.
Moody mood today. I can't really top anything that Versa said though. So like my wisdom kind of is shadowed in comparison, really. What
have you learned though? You know, what does acting do for you? You know, is it something that you've always had? And
no, it wakens something inside me that really.
There you are. That's fantastic.
It's given me kind of a real joy for life, and I love it. I absolutely love it. I love everything about it. So
Well, I love that too. I love that. I love what you said. It's fantastic. And it's important to keep that in your mind, you know, like whenever you have those self-doubts, it's important to keep the fact that you love it. That's what's important, is to keep those positives there as the other side of that dialogue, you know. It's like you're doing it because you love it. It gives you such a great feeling, you know, because we're always going to have doubts. There's no question. No one is. I don't believe anyone is without doubt, because that's what makes us so human, to have those doubts.
Thank you. Thanks, Mark. So, Michelle, your surname as well, just so Versa knows.
Oh, hi, Versa. It's Michelle Huirama. So, yeah, thank you so much. That was really inspiring, and you're so grounded, and it's like no bullshit, which I really liked. So just for me, I came back to acting just 2 years ago now. I used to work in Australia and New Zealand. So it's been a sort of big break and a big journey. But it's exciting, and it's so much better than doing anything else. I just love it, and just trying to push myself and do my classes and keep challenging myself every day.
How much do you want it though? That's the thing you've got to really clarify. You know, in order to succeed, you have to have a lot of energy to make through all of the, you know, crap. I mean, how do you support yourself in that process?
I'm supporting myself by the work that I'm booking. So
great.
Yeah, it's sort of turned around this year. So
I love that.
Not to buy a house or anything, but still, you know.
That's wonderful.
Very nice. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Chapman. Sorry, you've got your hand up, but just Elizabeth. We've got two Elizabeths. So Elizabeth Chapman.
Hello, Versa. It's such a pleasure to meet you.
Hi.
It's Elizabeth Chapman, and I would like to share with you that lockdown has been a blessing for my craft. But not only that, it's also helped me to realise in life, not just with acting, that I am enough.
I love that. That's wonderful. That's music to my ears. It really is. It's great.
And she's a great singer as well, so she could have
Oh,
other
wow.
music to hear
You
as
should
well.
sing us out then.
That was actually the question I was going to ask, but I'll wait.
Okay.
What's the question, though?
Very quickly, thank you. On my Spotlight CV, I love the fact, by the way, that Spotlight has categories. So you've got like stage is changed now where you can categorize everything, because my experience has been somewhat eclectic. And until recently, I found it very hard to call myself an actor, which is something I'm very passionate about. And there's certain stuff that I've eliminated from my CV so that I'm not labeled. I've done lots of work as a backing singer for major artists, and I've not put them all down because I'm worried that they're going to look at me and think she's just a session singer. I feel like you're the perfect person to ask, have I done the right thing?
Yes. Yes. Because I think you've got to let something go to bring the new in, you know. Yeah. I think it's so important for that. And yeah, you've done the right thing, absolutely, without question.
Thank you.
Good, yeah. Lovely. Sarah Stuckens in Denmark.
Yes, hello. Just to clarify, I'm Belgian, but I live in Denmark. To make it even more confusing.
That's
yeah,
great.
Acting. I'm just as a person, I'm extremely emotional and very sensitive and empathic. And I think very different than a lot of people I know. And I feel that acting gives me a way to use all of that and release it in a positive way. Because it can be hard in real world to be that sensitive.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Nice.
I love that.
Yeah, very nice.
But use it and channel it, you know. Still be well to be it, but you've got to put that into what you're doing as well.
And I just want to mention, because now I started crying, that I lost my dad last year to COVID. So it's been a hell of a
experience. Yeah. Sorry about that. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. So that's been a big experience as well.
That is a big experience.
Yeah.
That's major, 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 major experience, without question.
Thank you, Sarah. Mark Brent.
Yes,
hello, Mark.
Hello, I've already said hello, haven't I, by default, sort of. But yeah, so I jacked in my job 8 years ago. So my 6-figure salary job to become an actor.
I love it.
Now you know I've got so much self-doubt. Like, what the fuck have I done? But yeah.
It's okay. That's okay, you know.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm loving it. And Daniel's been really brilliant along the way for me. So, and I, you know, it's weird because I'm having the most self-doubt and I just had my biggest role in a BFI partnership film. It's weird. It's like the head is like.
That's what happens. That's what happens. See, when it's only one-sided, you're going to collapse into it. But you don't have to. You've got to come back. You've got to pull yourself back out of it. You know.
Yeah, I'm learning in the acting career that actually 30% of the work is dealing with my head around it and the mental side.
95%.
95%, yeah. But it's lovely
to turning up. It's turning up, you know, and that means all of what you're saying.
Yeah. Great to meet you, Versa.
Thanks,
Great
Mark.
to meet you too, Mark.
Zach.
Hello.
Hello, Zach.
Hi again, Versa. I'm Zach Cannon. I am from Mississippi originally, so I used to have a very deep twang. And then I married a Welsh girl. So there's all
wow.
So there's all the cwtches and the roi'n de gallies and all that stuff that I'm learning. So it's nice and fun. Yeah, a bit about me is that I was a child actor. So I started when I was 5 and worked out at the New Orleans hub until I was about 14. And so now I set aside, went and trained, you know, the awkward phases and all that kind of stuff. And so now I feel like I'm building a second career, so to speak. So it's a bit of a mental game of kind of going, okay, my job is actually to show up. That is the thing every day. It is the marathon. It is the long haul. That side actually doesn't mean jack shit anymore. It's kind of what you're doing now. And so I guess if the wisdom thing was that I keep multiple outlets of creativity. So like I play guitar and I'm a really bad drawer, but I try to do figure drawing and different things like that just so that it keeps the mental space open. So that, look, they look very strange. We've come up with little storyboards of my drawings, but yeah, so there we go.
Thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Gartside.
Thank you so much, Versa. It has been an absolute pleasure to be in this class and listened to all your wisdom. I've written down loads of things that I'm going to go back and visit. Fear is a motivator, communication is key, all of these little sound bites that you've given. Thank you. I am kind of new into the acting game, I suppose. I've been a teacher for 25 years, and I have just taken every opportunity in all the lockdowns to use Daniel's group to learn as much about the craft as I can. And I'm so excited. I'm sitting here in Heathrow quarantine at the moment, about to start. I know, crazy, in a hotel where I get to go outside and walk around a car park. That's it for 10 days.
Lucky you.
I know. But so that I can start a new job in London and be in the acting community in London. So I'm shifting closer to it. Yeah, that's what I'm doing at the moment. Thank you.
It. That's fantastic. Good for you, actually.
Yeah,
and both, for you too, Mark, that, when you're giving something up, it's gonna, you see, the pendulum swings one way and then it's got to swing back again. So, where you had lots of money, then you had no money, then you have lots of money, and then, everyone loses money along the way. But the fact that you made changes in your life to do what you love doing, all power to you. Seriously, I bow to you, because that's the hard thing to do. And yet, you're doing it, and it's to be applauded, really.
And I'm just gonna throw in there that I'm also really a proud mum of 3 children.
Oh my God, that's
one
brilliant.
of them, the work that I've done so far in my life has made sure that they get to do what they can do. One's an artist, one's jiu-jitsu, and one is a dancer. So they're all doing their thing.
Right, well done.
Good.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Tara.
Hi, Vas. Hi. Yes, I'm at the beginning as well. I've just started Daniel Dresner's classes, and they're really good. And I did 1 year at 10 months at the Actors Temple.
Can I just interrupt you? Can you come closer?
Oh yeah, sorry.
Come right up close so I can see you, because I can't see you. You're kind of miles away.
And
it's a metaphor, when you're miles away, you really are miles away. So come closer so we can see you. Like really, come up right up close. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Yep, more. Come on, I want to see you. See how we all are? We can see our faces. I want you. Come on, closer.
I can't get any.
We'll bring it closer to you then.
Closer. I think it's this lighting in the room.
No, it's nothing to do with the lighting. It's to do with you being way over here. We can't see you. So now I can. Okay, let's hear it.
Okay. So I've done 10 months at the Actors Temple, and I've just started Daniel Dresner's classes. I love acting. It's really helps me with my therapy and just therapy for me, and being able to express myself freely. It's been really good. So
excellent.
Thank you. Thank you, Tara. Nice to see you close up as well.
Thanks, Daniel.
Ready for your close up, Tara. Right, talking of close-ups, here we got Jay, whose head covers that, who's right in the screen there.
I love it. Let's go
a big head. Sorry, guys.
Got a tiny body, though.
A big head.
I wish I had a tiny body. Hi, Versa. Thank you for today. It's been brilliant listening to your wisdom. I'm in Essex in the UK.
I know where that is.
Yeah, originally from London. Grew up in London. I was first on stage when I was about eight years old. Loved the feeling of acting and just being in front of an audience. I then kind of pursued that, went to drama school. It was a bit of a challenge to get into drama school because I had a very, very bad speech impediment, which I was determined to overcome. And I worked on that to get into drama school. And then it kind of went a bit south. Graduated from drama school and nothing was really happening. I wasn't getting many auditions. And so I became a flight attendant for a few years.
How brilliant. Wow,
which I loved. It was so fun, but I was like, no, acting has got to be like my main priority. So yeah, I'm kind of coming back to it and having it at the forefront of my life. And doing these classes is just really helping with my confidence again. So Yeah.
I think that's wonderful. That is just such a great story. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, Versa.
It really is it's inspiring because you came back to the thing that you loved in the first place, and look at the challenges that you were confronted with. I mean, it's fantastic. Really, really, really fantastic.
Thank you.
And the fact that you put the work in is amazing. And it will come round.
And he's got talent that is hidden to himself, but not to me.
Yeah, you got to shine, man, wherever you are.
You've got to show it, Jay. And last but definitely not least, we've got Lorna Dempsey.
Hi, Lorna.
Hi. Thank you so much, Versa. I've resonated with everything that you've said, to the point where I think we'd be a match made in heaven. Honestly, I'm shocked firstly at how actors, their work ethic. And I think the one thing I've learned from listening to you is that, my God, have I got work ethic. I've never stopped. I've never given up on myself, no matter what challenges have come my way. I'm a singer, dancer, actor, and writer. My first professional gig was a part of the Barney gang on tour in Ireland when I was 9. So, I've been in this industry for a long, long time, and previously lived in LA 10 years ago with a girl band. So I've been around the block, and I definitely need to go back to LA. So I will be following up with you, please, and let's have a conversation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, acting is where my heart is at. And I love it because it's the most freeing that I've ever been. And I love connecting. I also coach and teach like kids all the way up. And it's serving other people is why I'm here, to tell the story, to use my talent and gifts as a vessel for other people who don't have a voice. And that's what it means to me, acting. Yeah. Thank you so much for today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, we have to wrap up because my thing is I have to go make my 10 and 11-year-old spaghetti and meatballs, and it's getting late, and I'm late.
It's a bit early for me for meatballs.
Yeah, I've chopped them, and they're 10 and 11.
I need to have breakfast first. Oh my goodness.
We're at 7:15 at night.
Good. So listen, thank you everyone for allowing me to speak here. I mean, really, I feel blessed and honored that you've given me the space to do that. So,
yes,
seriously.
Most people like you, Versa, people who sort of don't need to be here, but you do need to be here. And that's what I love about
I love what I do. I love what I do, and I get up every day with vigor and energy, and I want to go in there, roll the sleeves up, and see who I can demolish. No, seriously, you want to get things for your clients. Sometimes you got to put on that stern voice, and I'm not taking that. I'm not having that. So, yeah, well, again, thank you all. And, if you're on IMDb, you've got my emails. Email me if you want. You can call. If you're here in LA, you definitely got to call me. So, we're connected now. You can't help yourselves.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And there are plenty of good drinking spots. It's all those years living in London, I think, too. So, all right. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.